what's going on, guys? Chris Bonner here, Power Training TV, everything power athletic related. So recently I've been testing out some of the athletes in jumping. One of them is vertical jump. So what I figured after reviewing, I see a wide spectrum of kids testing out their vertical jump, and naturally my inclination is to think that they properly know how to perform a maximal or set themselves up for the best mechanical advantage for the vertical jump, but I was wrong. So what I want to do today is I want to share with you guys a simple test that you can utilize, and then a quick tip that you can utilize to simply increase your vertical jump instantly. Now this may not be for a lot of you. A lot of you may have already utilized this, but a majority, at least from the poll of the kids that I work with, a majority of you aren't utilizing this or do not understand this concept. And when you understand this concept, it will allow you to increase your vertical jump. So the simple test that I want to get into is basically mimicking, if you guys are familiar, I always talk about Verkhoshansky. He was basically the godfather of jump training. I mean, he was a Russian coach. I think he trained at track and field. Anyway, one of his experiments was he had his athletes perform 3 different kinds of vertical jump. So the first one he had them do was no counter movement. He basically eliminated the eccentric phase. He came from a low squat position, exploded up, and had them touch on a vertical jump. The second one was a counter movement jump. This is where he basically had them explode down from an eccentric phase and all the way up to a concentric phase, basically a counter movement jump and touching. And then lastly, what he did was, what he eventually developed depth jumps was, he basically had them jump off of something like, a couple inches, I think actually it was 50 centimeters, for some reason I remember that. He jumps, they have him jumps down, boom, they explode back up, and they touch. And basically what this evidence showed was that the first movement without the counter movement was the lowest, then the next one with the counter movement was significantly higher, and then even above that, when they had that counter movement jump, the depth jump recorded the highest vertical jump. Now simply take this time real quick to pause this video, go and test this yourself. It's 3 quick things. If you got a ceiling right above you where you're at, 1, touch one without the counter movement jump, touch one with the counter movement jump, and then touch one, maybe hop off a little block or something like that, maybe about 50 centimeters high, like I said. And you'll see for yourself that typically the last one, the depth jump, is going to record the highest jump. And what that means is, basically when we're jumping, it's all about managing our energy, or being able to utilize our energy, I should say. And most of this energy, from what they found out, is stored in the tendons and not so much the fibers of the muscle. Basically what we go through, and the muscles have a stretch reflex or a stretch shortening cycle that we act as a rubber band, where immediately when you basically perform or impact or collide with the ground, we formulate energy. If that energy is not used, it dissipates into heat. But if we use it into propelling ourselves forward, we can have a higher jump. So the quick tip that I kind of wanted to give you guys today, sorry for the long-winded explanation, but the quick tip I wanted to give you guys today is, when you're performing a vertical jump, obviously we can't perform a depth jump, meaning we can't jump or take a step, right? Or we're not going from a running start, we're just standing right underneath the marker or the vertex and we're hitting it. But the one quick tip that I can have you utilize that all my athletes weren't doing is to utilize that stored energy in those tendons and in those spindle receptors, okay? So what essentially I want you to do next time you line up for a vertical jump is to explode your body, your eccentric phase, as fast as you possibly can down, trying to recreate as much energy in the tendons and in the spindle receptors as you possibly can. Why? We want a larger stretch reflex. So instead of just a slow motion or a pause, which a lot of my athletes were doing, I want you to forcefully, aggressively explode the arms down and be able to explode back up. As you can see, go through almost ranges. I mean, honestly, just try it for yourself. Try the one without it. Try one with a slow one. Try one with as forceful as you possibly can and immediately shooting out. okay? And I'm telling you right now, your vertical jump will instantly increase between that if you're not already doing that. Like I said, quick, simple tip. I always try to leave in everything. Make sure you guys understand every other concept. I hope that helps. I'll holler at you next time.
I don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea. You know, I want to represent an idea.
So look, for a top speed exercise today, I wanted to share with you guys something that I think is such a simple tool you can utilize to correct a lot of your top speed. So often I talk about the mechanics of the lower body and cycling when you're in top speed.